In the coastal town of Oniru, the night of Amara and Chike's wedding gleamed like a dream. Lanterns glowed along sandy paths, drums beat in rhythms older than memory, and the scent of roasted plantain drifted through the warm breeze. Amara, radiant in a white and gold lace gown with coral beads glowing against her brown skin, walked beneath a palm arch toward her beloved. Chike stood tall in his ceremonial military uniform, his eyes soft with a promise only she could understand. When their hands met, the village erupted in cheers, and the stars themselves seemed to sway to the music. They danced until the moon climbed high and the waves whispered blessings along the shore. Before dawn the next morning, while the village still slept, the newlyweds wandered to the misty lagoon. They spoke in low voices about the life they would build together. Chike cupped Amara's hands and said, "Even if storms come, this love will stand like the baobab." Together they carved their initials on a smooth piece of driftwood and set it afloat, watching it drift away as if carrying their vows into eternity. For 2 radiant days they were inseparable. They visited elders to offer kola nuts, laughed with children, and planted a small garden behind their new home. They cooked spicy jollof rice side by side, teasing each other over the salt. At sunset Chike played a wooden flute, the notes curling through the evening like gentle waves, and Amara felt as though the world itself had paused to honor their joy. But on the 3rd morning, the world intruded. A sudden knock rattled the door before dawn. A dusty messenger saluted briskly and said, "Captain Chike, you are ordered to the northern border. Enemy forces approach." Amara's heart sank as she reached for her husband's hand. "2 days is too short," she whispered, her voice trembling. Chike held her close, their foreheads touching. "Our story is only beginning," he said softly. Before leaving, he untied a beaded bracelet from his wrist and placed it on hers. "This carries my heartbeat. Keep it safe." With a final kiss he marched away beneath a rising sun streaked with crimson. That night Amara lit a small clay lamp on their veranda and waited. The scent of hibiscus drifted through the quiet air as crickets sang their endless chorus. Hours stretched like years. Shadows thickened. The lamp's flame flickered in the breeze, mirroring her fragile hope. Dawn finally crept across the sky, but no footsteps came, only the sound of distant waves. Then came another knock. 2 soldiers stood at the doorway, their faces heavy with sorrow. One held Chike's cap pressed to his chest. "Madam Amara," he said gently, "Captain Chike saved many men, but he fell in battle." The words shattered the morning. The birds fell silent. The ground seemed to tilt beneath her feet as she sank to the floor, a cry tearing from her heart that echoed through the still village. Days passed in a haze of grief. The wedding clothes still hung by the door, carrying the faint scent of palm oil and wood smoke. The little garden they had planted began to dry beneath the relentless sun. Neighbors left food at her doorstep, but she barely noticed. She wandered to the lagoon where they had once laughed together, staring at ripples that carried fragments of the sky. Grief became a language only her heart could speak. One restless night she dreamed of Chike standing at the edge of the lagoon, moonlight glinting on his uniform. He smiled and said, "My love, live. Let our days together be a seed, not a grave." She woke with tears on her cheeks and a quiet calm in her chest. Days later, as evening settled over the village, she heard children singing a lullaby her grandmother once sang. "The sun sets, the moon remembers, love endures beyond the river." The melody wrapped around her like a gentle embrace. In that moment she felt Chike's presence, not in flesh, but in the steady rhythm of the waves and in the courage he had left behind. Seeking peace, Amara climbed the old hill shrine where elders prayed for strength. At the summit she released Chike's bracelet to the wind and whispered, "Guide me." A soft breeze swirled around her like a quiet answer. In the months that followed she began to teach the village children to read beneath the great baobab tree where she and Chike had once stood together. She wore her coral wedding beads not as a chain of sorrow but as a circle of strength, her laughter slowly returning, mingling with the children's bright voices. When young brides came to her for advice, Amara would smile softly and say, "Love is not measured by years but by the depth of the heart. 2 days with true love can outshine a lifetime of indifference." Her life became a testament that love can be brief yet eternal, that courage can rise from tragedy, and that the memory of a good man can light the path ahead. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can floods drown it. Song of Solomon 8 verse 7. If you enjoyed this story and the Lagos-inspired visuals, don't forget to subscribe for more African folktales and heartfelt narratives.